And we are live.
Make me new again. What up? What up? What it do? What it do? What it do? Y'all already know why I'm saying make me new again. Y'all already know. Like, did y'all watch the verses? I mean, the free Hoover event. Oh my God. Now,
No, but that has definitely been a trending
the
topic.
free Hoover. You haven't watched it? Event.
Uh-uh.
Oh, let me tell you one thing for certain, two things for sure, three things. It was the best 3 hours that a man could spend, and actually, I had to actually do 6 hours of it because I watched it twice. Right now,
Okay.
now I'm not gonna lie. The first time I fell asleep when Drake started. All right,
Mm.
and I was thinking the way Kanye had did his set, I was like, all right, maybe Kanye gonna go first and then Drake gonna go last. And I tried to stay awake, but
Uh,
I just couldn't power through it. I mean, it was 1 o'clock in the morning for Christ's sakes, people. Give me a shot.
Hold on, that's what time the concert was?
No, it started at midnight. Well, it posed that started at midnight
Mm.
Pacific time, rather. It was supposed to start 11 o'clock Pacific time, which I learned now is midnight our time. See, I wasn't a big person in knowing sun times, but I know now, right? So
Mm.
it started around 12:30 actually,
Okay.
and it still didn't kick off to one because there was a whole 30-minute like segment where the preachers or the choir was doing their singing, right? So for me, it was like kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah.
are you the last concerts you've been to have been indie concerts?
I've been to, well, the one I went to was more like a young MA concert with indie artists performing as well.
Okay, how was Young M.A.'s performance?
It was great. It was awesome. Actually, I didn't post all of the footage. I just posted a little clip on my story, but it was nice. I mean, she had the place packed. She had the girls twerking, and
Obviously.
let you know, if you are a straight female, like she'll make you second second guess your sexuality. Like
Excuse me.
young MA is fine.
Well, we see what that's what Holly Berry was getting her all hyped up and hyper up, you know what I'm saying? So hey,
Mhm.
whatever. But listen, who's the best performer you ever seen?
The best performer I've ever seen would have to be, mm, I want to say,
And we can take myself off the table so it don't be so difficult.
um, I would have to say, damn, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Shit, I would have to say, I'm gonna go with Future and Young Thug.
All right, so now we definitely gotta get Boss
Oh
Biz
no, damn.
out some concerts.
I would have to say Megan.
Oh, Megan, okay. I haven't seen Megan perform besides on video clips.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's so hard because I've seen, I don't know, Megan.
Have you seen a Kanye West performance?
No, I haven't seen like a grand. Like how when you go to an award show and they be gliding over the audience and then it's fireworks and lights and stuff like that. I haven't. I haven't seen. I think I haven't seen nothing with people doing flips and shit like that, or nothing extravagant like a Lady Gaga concert or.
Yeah, see, that's and like honestly, I'm so glad that you said that because to me it feels like where Kanye is going now is all art, right?
Mhm.
And that's what the listening parties,
Okay.
this free Hoover concert, these were all like these are like events that when you was a kid you would think the ice capade.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you, Jezabel. I felt good watching Kanye West.
Mhm.
And I felt good watching Drake too. Let me tell you something though. I didn't expect Drake to compete or compare up to um Kanye West anyway, so I wasn't let down in that regard. But
Okay.
I was really thrown off by the song selection of
Mm,
Drake, you know. And I really would like for you to watch it,
I will. I
you know.
will.
Watch the one on YouTube that's been shortened down to the 2 hour version, because the 2 hour version is what you really need.
Well, what I'm going to ask you is, as far as performance, how did you feel the performance went? Like, who do you think put on a
Man,
show?
listen,
Was it
I feel like so I
more
told you. I remember I told you guys there's only two people in this world that I think give a show as great as Michael Jackson, and that is Beyonce and Chris Brown, right?
effort?
But after watching Kanye West perform last night or the
Mhm.
other week or this weekend, pretty because I watched it twice. You know what I really found myself realizing?
What's
That
it?
we have to separate rap performers from singing
Mhm.
performers, right?
Okay.
There's a certain thing that you expect from your singers, depending on who they are. If they dance, if they party singers, you expect a big party on stage. If they are soul singers, then you expect maybe just the band, and you happy with that. But when I'm sitting there watching rappers perform, I understand that it's a whole lot different and intricate in what you expecting from a rapper and what you expected to receive from a rapper, right? So now when I'm watching Kanye West perform, I'm like, wait a minute, this is bigger than watching just like a rapper perform, not from just the artist standpoint or from a fan standpoint, but from a person who is out here every day asking myself, how can I start performing as a rapper? How can I make my shows look different from everybody else that's just standing up rapping? Everybody that bringing all their mans around rapping. How can I learn how to command the stage? How can I learn how to hit points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? You know what I'm saying? These are the people that when they ask, how can I get paid for shows? When you watch a artist perform like Kanye West and Drake's performances that they put on for that Free Hoover concert, you ask yourself, am I performing like these guys?
See, but to be fair, that's a planned concert. Like, I think when, for instance, when you did your album release, right? You
Yep.
had an order of how you wanted your songs to go, and you commanded the crowd, like, you know what I'm saying? That
Yep.
was something pre-planned, as opposed to an artist just popping up or just got a show next week and it's not centered around them. I don't think they put in as much effort. These new
And
rappers,
that's
should
that's the
say.
point. That's the point, right? Because like the minute you get a flyer, now it's a planned show. The minute you
Right.
schedule it, now it's planned. And now you have to start thinking about how am I gonna be different? Like you said, a lot of artists think the same too much. It's like this. Hey, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and get on the show because I see a flyer for it.
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna see if my man's didn't want to come out. If no one comes out, it's not gonna matter. I'm just gonna get up there and rap anyway. I'm gonna rap my verse. I'm gonna do the same moves like the last dude just got on stage. I'm gonna walk around the stage. I'm gonna hold the mic. I'm gonna cuff it the wrong way. I'm not gonna interact with everyone here. Only the people that seem to like wanna rock with me, maybe, you know. And then I'm not gonna talk to anyone afterwards. I'm gonna just be doing my thing. I'm not gonna show any love to the other artists. I'm just gonna be me, right? Because that is the status quo. Honestly, what I was saying, today's topic is going to be indie mindset versus industry
Yeah.
mindset, right?
Let me
Because
ask something before you move on.
yes,
So when I was at the show in West Virginia, Martinsburg, shout out Martinsburg, West Virginia Club
mm-hmm,
Horror, one of the artists that was performing, Don Periani, he actually, what I liked about his performance is that he realized how many ladies was in there, I guess, in the front. And he, at that point, he directed his energy and his attention to giving it to the ladies. Like, oh, okay, I see y'all in here. Y'all looking good over there. Da, da, da. And then they start screaming. And it was like, to me, it was something out of the ordinary, regular rapper getting on. Singers do that. Male singers get up on there, they serenade the ladies, they get the
mm-hmm,
ladies involved. But with
yep,
him, he was in the middle of his rap. He stopped. He like, okay, ladies, I see the sexy ladies up in here. How y'all doing? Start looking at them. You know what I'm saying? Like really giving them attention. They start going off. I'm talking about putting their phones, their flashlights up, and that I feel like that's actually putting effort into your performance and trying to
Yeah.
command the crowd's attention.
Yeah, and like the crazy part about it is that is these are things that are practiced and planned. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right.
some artists got that naturally, but at the end of the day, you could probably go back to half of his clips, even when there wasn't ladies in the building, and he still did it. He
Yeah.
still made that same proclamation, maybe because the song that he was already doing was a woman catered song. Now, I'm going to tell every artist in the industry right now, if you don't understand catering to the women, catering to the kids is how you win. And the sad thing is, even if you trap out, you know what I'm saying? If you can't sell to the ladies, then you might as well go ahead and kill it. I mean, Chief Keef made a killer because not only was he a little young and rapping about some trap shit, but he had every guy in his video, no matter if they was in the living room or not, nobody had a shirt on ever. And it was like all the little girls was watching
Mhm.
it and talking about that. None of them got their shirts on. He. You know, it's like what? I mean,
Right.
the fascination with the whole trap image is not just about it's the reason why trap is so big is because it molded the way that men have to walk around and look in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to think about it. Music doesn't just music doesn't just capture you because of its lyrics or its
Right.
sound. It's because it changes your perspective and how you look at everything around you. I
Right.
mean, now you got regular people because of trap music gotta go buy bus downs. I mean, there was a man who won $30,000 in a lottery ticket and he said he spent $28,000 of that 30,000 on a chain. Now, why do we know this story? Because this regular man got robbed at a gas station. Because he's a regular man. But Trap told him to be accepted in today's world, you needed to be bussed down. You needed to be dripped down. This is it. You got regular people who want the look. I mean,
Right.
and that's when we ask ourselves why certain stuff catch on, why certain stuff don't catch on, why my sound hasn't caught on.
Mhm.
Well, if you're calling yourself bringing a different sound, but yet you're giving me the same look, then it's probably chances are what's going to catch on is the new sound that we have to adapt going to catch on, or is the familiar look that we see going to catch on? And the
Mhm.
reality of it is, you can look familiar and everything like that, but if you don't match that sound when you look like everybody else, then there's a huge problem.
Well, guess who's making the effort to change that?
Oh,
NBA YoungBoy.
of course. But y'all listen, we gotta leave NBA young boy alone. You know what I'm saying?
Why? Why is he off?
Because listen, that man is facing Fed time. One mistake messing with you rap fans, and it's over. So let me go over here and party with the Lil Uzi Vert fans, the Trippy Red fans, who keep their star. They keep their superstars safe. They keep their superstars, on a plateau to where it does not matter what you say about them. You better watch it and be careful if you think it is gonna hurt. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Lil Uzi Vert put a diamond in the middle of his forehead. And everyone that was hating on it was got butchered by Uzi fans or even people that wasn't Uzi fans. It was like you just mad because you can't do it. But if he was a traditional rapper, then come on now, like everybody, like everyone that talks that, oh yeah, he's gonna try to get robbed. They're gonna try to take it out of his head. That's rap. That's the rap industry. You know what I'm saying? The rap industry is where we got to worry about the chains getting snatched when we hit the studio and things
I
like
don't
that.
understand that. And I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I mean, I guess it's to punk somebody, but you just look broke if you still
I mean, at the end of the day, yes, right?
punk.
But that's the culture of rap, in my opinion. And I hate to sound so crazy about this, but the culture of it is from the nothing, from being broke to being something. Rap is a come up story. You know what I'm saying? It's not like gospel music. It's not like country music. It's not like pop music. It's not like rock music. I mean, shoot, a rocker will fuck your place up too. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? They got a lot of shit to go through, probably worse than rock star than rappers do. But let's just be real, they're white. So we're not gonna tell you that a bunch of white dudes was all drugged up and rage fighting and shooting up stuff in the media. I'm sorry, guys. We already addressed that. We live in we're black, so we get black news.
Right.
You know, we live in urban areas, so we're gonna get urban news. You want to get rock news, you got to turn on those stations. You watch those Kiss movies, those little old Lifetime movies or whatever, the biopics of them old rock bands. You're like, whoa, no one ever told me that they did this.
No, that's true. That's true.
We gotta move differently. We gotta move differently when we in the rap game. And the craziest part is, like the craziest part is now we're in a situation times now where everyone wants to be indie, but everybody wants the industry handout, or I guess playbook.
Mm.
And it's
So,
scary.
so do you really think NBA YoungBoy is doing this to change his?
Image.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really believe that. I really believe that. I believe that this is the best route for NBA YoungBoy.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
So by wearing makeup and fingernail polish and all that other stuff, that just now puts him in a whole different category.
it does put you in a different genre. It puts you in emo. It puts you in rock. Um, it puts you in pop. It definitely takes you out of rap and drill and trap music. You know what I'm saying? Because these things are not accepted in these communities. And this is when artists do things like this, they're letting you know the more extreme an artist is,
Mm-hmm.
the more he's letting you know how much he wants to separate himself from what is called rap and or hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Now the beauty of it is a hip hop artist gets way more respect because they have to be very lyrical. You know what I'm saying? So they get protected. They become safe until they present themselves as a threat. But everybody likes the guy that can rap, that got lyrics. You know what I'm saying? The hip hop artist that's gonna sit up there and just rap all day about life
Mm-hmm.
and rap all day about uplifting and making you feel good and taking your story and making it another man's story and making it his own and sharing it with the world. Everybody love that guy. Oh, that guy becomes the Tupacs. That guy becomes the Jay-Z's, the Lil Waynes. You know what I'm saying? That guy becomes those guys. Because at the end of the day, you ain't gonna let anything happen to those guys because at the end of the day, those are the guys that get your message across. You see? But even a guy like Lil Wayne realized I can be the greatest, but I can never be number one until I separate myself from rap, from rappers, from hardcore trap and drill rap. How do I do that? Well, I start tattooing my face up. I make my locks a little bit more extreme, color them up a little bit. I auto tune now. Let me add some auto tune and some singing up in here. Let me let the world know that I am safe because I don't. I listen. 50 Cent is an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? A
Yeah.
guy like 50 Cent is an anomaly. A guy that will rap about shooting you, killing you, but yet being a billionaire and stuff like that. But mind you, you understand 50 Cent couldn't take the route like an Ice Cube, not like right now, right? where he's making Disney movies. And Ice Cube had to work his way up to that after making Fridays and things like that, successful movies,
family
successful
stuff.
projects.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about 50 Cent is winning because he just took his music and put his music into visual. What we see, what we hear him rap about is now something that we see every Sunday
Yep.
in his Power series, in his BMF series, and all of his movies. Even the TV series that he did, Life, when the guy was behind bars trying to free himself, that is still where you feel like I see 50 in that. I hear his music in that. I mean, how many niggas behind bars that ain't supposed to be there? And we know it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be real. The divide and the great line between industry and indie, everybody keep making it like it's this thin, but it's really like this thick.
Right.
Like, because a lot when I'm starting to get really envious of all of the success stories that people that are indie are sharing. I don't. I'm like,
By how? What do you mean?
it's kind of like there. I would use the word misleading.
Mm-hmm.
I would use the word misleading, right?
Okay.
And I would also be inclined to ask people to ask themselves why would all these people be trying to tell me how to get the gold? If they're all winning, why is everyone telling me this? Why is everyone steering me away from record deals now, yet working with the record industry so heavy? What's the real plan here? What's the real play happening? I mean, listen, I'm not here to tell y'all that they don't want y'all to get a piece of the pie. And I'm not sitting here to tell y'all that everybody don't want to get a piece of whatever it is that you spending out there. But I have a good friend that I follow on Facebook, and he posts some things, and they always kind of make me chuckle. And I have to explain to him. I say, no, if you're telling people to stay indie, then you have to explain to them how it really works. Because outside looking in, it looks like you're telling people to go get jobs to fund their careers. And I have never, ever, you know what I'm saying? I have never, ever given that advice to anyone. I always say, if I tell you you start funding your career, then I'm going to give you a plan on how to fund your career. I'm not going to tell you artists the steps is to get a budget. Then once you get your budget, it's going to build your plan. Then you build your plan, and then you put out your music, and then you put out your music. Nah, like, listen, I'm going to tell y'all the real. Y'all got to learn how to get on the road. You got to be willing to take your shows on the road. And I'm not trying to tell y'all what to do and how to do it, but you can't be on the road. You can't be on the road when you secluded or subjected to someone else's time and someone else's schedule, right? Especially if that someone else's time and schedule is not contingent on your goals and plans. I mean, I don't like when I hear artists tell me, I'm trying to finish my album. And I'm like, well, when you been in the studio? Well, I've been at work and I'm trying to get some time off so I can get in there. And I got like 2 songs done. And I'm like, well, when do you want to work in the studio? Because I don't know how that works, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I get everybody having to do what they got to do. But this.
Now, it's time management also. And sometimes people mismanage their time. Like, for instance, you can still have a job and get in the studio and do what you have to do. You just have to allot time for it. However, for artists that's really trying to push their music, I'm not going to say I don't recommend working, but it holds you back. I know an artist that was offered a free tour. Basically, they were going to pay for airfare, room and board, interviews, radio interviews, and I think it was a couple of shows.
Right.
And they were telling the artist like they need to know within the next month what date that artist will be available. Well, couldn't get off of work, already taking their vacation time. And this was not going to be something that was just going to be like a day or two. Like this is something you're going to have to get on a plane maybe. And if you drive, it's going to be a couple of days, but it was free. But this artist missed out on this opportunity specifically because it's like, how can you take off of work? Now imagine if that was a huge label or like Live Nation or something like that offering you the
But
same thing.
it was because let's break down what we said here, right? We heard, he probably heard free tour, but I heard they were paying for room and board and travel. So that's not free. Those are accommodations that taking a finance off your. All you have to do is schedule it. What I didn't hear is this artist have any plan, right? Because this is like I'm gonna give y'all a real life, real deal Holyfield on how you work these situations. Y'all have to learn how touring works, merchandise and product. I mean, if you got a tour scheduled and you know they paying for all your travel, well, all you have to pay for is your merch and make sure that you're making money when you get there. I mean, that part is easy. It should be if you really believe in yourself and you're killing your music and you're killing your shows. I mean, let's just be real. If someone's willing to pay for you to come to a venue and across the world more than once, they obviously believe that you can make some money.
Right.
And they're putting you in position to make some money. This music business is a hustle. Your job is a hustle, but it's not your hustle, right? It's your boss man hustle. It's the CEO hustle. If all y'all get up and say we're done, he got to find 30 more of you.
Right.
If he can't find 30 more of you, which we all know if you ever worked a job in human resources, it costs more to hire than it does to keep you.
Right.
So if he can't bring you back, guess what his hustle has now done? Failed. He got to now, what is he going to do? Does he fold? Does he quit? No, he replaces you, but you replace your dream. Now, I understand that we all got to do what we got to do. Let me tell you why I don't agree with time management, Jezabel.
Why not?
This is going to sound so hilarious, but we don't own time. We don't own 24 hours, right? We don't own the day. On top of that, we don't own the universe that's going to dictate what is happening around us and what opportunities and when they come. We simply have to put ourselves in position to always be ready whenever it happens. It's like opportunity at the door, and you like, give me 4 hours, I'll be there. Opportunity got old knees. You know how long opportunity been around?
Yeah.
Before me, you, your parents, grandparents, great, 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 great. And I think opportunity was around when Adam and Eve was here. I think when God made Adam and Eve, he also made opportunity with them. So y'all expect opportunity to stand at your door for hours, for 4 hours, 8 hours, and wait 2 weeks, a month, a year? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. That's a good one because do you just drop everything for that opportunity? And what I'm learning is, when there are times when the opportunity does come, you have to you have to either go like you have to figure out a way.
You know my favorite thing to do, right?
What?
Like we always do at this time, I gotta bring in a Bible correlation. But y'all know the story about the man who waited in the water while boats came by, asking God to send him a savior to save him. And eventually he drowned. And when he got to God's face and asked, "Hey, why didn't you save me?" He said, "I sent you 3 boats and a ship. You didn't get on neither one of them." So at the end of the day, we ask, all I need is one shot and I'm gonna be on, and then you just say we're passing up opportunities because, well, what is your one shot? Who decides the one shot? Are you deciding what that one shot is? Well, if you are, best believe me, you're always going to be waiting forever. It was crazy because Big Sean said he got $15,000 for his signing bonus. And will we all look at Big Sean and say he's hurting? Will we consider Big Sean a struggling artist? I mean, we would have considered him a dumb artist since how now he has his own imprint. Now he's making his own moves now in the industry. So he obviously has a little bit of knowledge, but he took $15,000. Now, I don't know how much he was making at his job beforehand, but he obviously knew $15,000 could turn into more than that. Right. But at the end of the day, if you don't have a mental mentality on doubling money and making money and anything like that, then you already just looking like a lamb anyway. But how is this game so thick? Why is this? What people? I see you ask me, Six. Why is the game so thick? Why is it that thick of a wall between us? Well, it's simple, y'all, because it's thousands of connections in between how you move as an indie level and how they move on a label industry level. And at the end of the day, like I told y'all 2 weeks ago, if you're not willing to become 8 people, if you're not hiring 8 departments, because that's what the industry has, departments. If you don't have these departments covered, then how are you really trying to play ball? And like there's a post that says you should pay showcases, you should pay A&R connections, and you should pay this and woo woo woo. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all that's an indie mindset, because at the end of the day, connections are not to be paid.
But
Connections
you're paying for opportunities.
Nah.
You're paying for the opportunity to make those connections. Like, let's say someone's throwing a showcase and one of the A&Rs or maybe a manager, a music manager or road manager or some shit is from QC at the showcase. You're paying for the opportunity not only to be seen by that person, but also to introduce yourself, and have a face-to-face encounter with possible opportunity.
Let me tell you, I do agree. You are paying to be seen. Right? And at the end of the day, there's literally nothing wrong with paying to be seen. I want y'all to understand that, right? But you have to understand you cannot pay to be seen and then go in there and look like everyone else and sound like everyone else. I mean, that's just preposterous. That's like paying to enter a science fair, right? And you get to see, or you get a flyer of everybody that's coming in, and you get to go and see they all building volcanoes. And you say, oh shit, I'm building a volcano. Wait a minute. You just paid to get in here to show them that you too can build a volcano? Well, I'm sorry. Y'all 30 people are already sounding like Little Baby or Da Baby or Money Man or you name it. You know what I'm saying? Drake.
But that's when what you said in the beginning when we first started comes into play. Like, how do you stand out in your performance? So to leave a stain on someone, to actually be like, oh, okay, we could work. Now your sound, maybe you might sound a little bit like others, but we could kind of tweak that a little bit, give you another beat, and we got a hit, with your type of performance and your
listen, even if you sound like a person, you got to give a show. Mm-hmm. You can't come up there and just hold the mic and just rap. You and your mans just stand up there,
head down.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You can't do that. You got to command the stage. You got to command the crowd. You got to grab the niggas that you. I mean, listen. If I'm performing for a QC DJ, right? I'm not about to be, let's just say it's too official up there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to be performing all day for 5 minutes and not 5 or 6 times in those 5 minutes shout it out. Give it up for Too Official, my DJ for the night. Yeah, man. DJ Too Official and Sixxcess. Tell him how we do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm making sure he's seeing me now. Like I'm not gonna just pay to get in there and just rap and then be like, thank y'all. Like, nah, like he gonna know. You know what I'm saying? When I post my clips up in the morning, he gonna know because all I'm being that John doing is like, yeah, shout out, give one for my DJ. You know what I'm saying? Just play it to Official. Go and give him play that to, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, whatever you gotta do. But at the end of the day, you can't think to yourself, this is not the opportunity. And at the end of the day, like I said, indie versus industry thinking. I mean, listen, paying to meet people is cool and all y'all, but that's industry thinking. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's indie thinking. That's not how things done in the industry, right?
You gotta get to the industry.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the industry is not picking you because you move like an indie person. They picking you because they know you know how to move in the industry. That's like you got a group of friends, Jezabel. You know what I'm saying? And you got one really ratchet and you got one really sophisticated. Today you going to the White House and they say you could bring one guest. You may call Shantae before you call Charmaine. You know what I'm saying? Whichever one is the most ghetto one, she probably not gonna get the call. She be like, bitch, why did they get the call?
You know that sound like all my friends.
It's like, hey, listen, I love you, but I had to take one guest that was going to represent me well at the White House. You know, she had to put on the nice dress and shit like that. You know, so I'm sorry, and no disrespect, but I got this concert tonight. We could go to that. You know, because she got to work in the morning. She's a doctor. She don't do that type of shit. You feel me? So at the end of the day, that shit is just like that in the industry. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't bring a person who thinking indie around industry niggas. They automatically look at him like he's weird. You know? And they will listen, like let's put it like this. If I come to you and say, look, Jezabel, I got $10,000 I want to give you to put me on. I mean, are you gonna tell me no?
Hell no. I'm gonna take that 10 G's and
you're gonna figure it out. And listen, even if your people are not interested in me, you can still make that 10 G's look right enough for me to believe you did what I gave you. Right. Because I already have showed you I'm an indie nigga. I'm not thinking anyway. I didn't strategically think this out. I ran to you, I paid you. You say come to the studio, I'm bringing some people by. They're gonna come look at you. I'm in the studio, wrap my ass off for your homeboys. Feeling like I'm ready.
Right.
You know? And it's like, hey, months go by, they wasn't interested. Sorry. Damn. Well, is there a way I can meet Coach? you know? Is there a way I can meet Russ?
Right.
No. I'm the man between Russ. Like, it's only me and then Russ. But you pay me 10 G's. If I like it, I take you to Russ. But now all you artists feel cheated because you ask yourself, wait a minute, how he don't like me? What didn't he like? Because honestly, like I told y'all, man, there's an industry way and there's an indie way. There's an industry way and there's an indie way. I mean, there's a way to book tours properly, and there's a way to book shows properly, and then there's a way to get scammed. And there's a way to just be doing bad shows. And I mean, like, at the end of the day, I want y'all to understand something. I want all the promoters that be listening to me that think that I'm attacking y'all. I don't want y'all to think that your format is why it's a bad show, right? Your format allows artists to perform and be on a platform, and you share it. My problem is these artists do not use these platforms because they're intimidated by how they're approached and how these shows are ran. You can't give a proper concert. You can't give a proper show. You know, I mean, like at the end of the day, if I come into a show at 10 o'clock because you told me to get there at 10. And I'm amped up and I'm ready to give my all to this crowd. And now it's 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, and I'm about to finally go up. I don't know. You and not to mention, you haven't accommodated me in any way, right? So now I'm sitting there and thirsty, like hungry, tired, bored. You haven't even come to me and been like, yo, Sixxcess, we you going up at 1 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Make sure your people just stay entertained, do your thing, get a drink or something, whatever the case may be. I mean, like, honestly, they ask why artists don't like drinking. Most of them will not drink or don't want to grab a drink and they think they about to go up. You know, because they don't want to be like, hold my drink or up there holding the drink while they performing. You know, most of them want to grab a drink right before they go on because it's their last $12. You know, they don't want to spend the $12 on another drink. They want to be lit before their performance, be just finished the drink. You know, it's like a whole strategy that goes in the head. There's artists that literally, I believe more artists plan how they want to do their show at a showcase, but by the time they go up, it's already done. It's gone. The moment is gone. I mean, like, there's certain artists that I know they say, yeah, man, when I go up, I'm going to spark my blunt, and then I'm going to start my show. And then you ask them, why you didn't spark your blunt? By the time I went up, I was out of weed.
I mean, or they drink after. Like, I know some artists that don't like to drink before they perform.
Man, like, I tell artists, man,
they just leave.
Gotta learn every scenario though. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, like, open mics and showcases are like, I tell you, they're like big practice fields, right? Instead of paying to go into a studio, which may cost you $100 an hour, $200 an hour, and to look in the mirror and practice your set. Well, that's what the open mic is for. That's where you get to go and practice. That's where you get to go and learn. What do you do if you get stumbled up in the chord? What do you do if no one is interested? How do you get them interested? Does this song sound like to me, to them? You know, can I perform off of Hennessy? Can I perform off of Patron? You know, can I perform high as hell? Like, these are the parts where you get to ask yourself and conquer all these damn demons, right? And that's what you pay for at an open mic. You don't really pay for connections because at the end of the day, like I said, I'm gonna tell you, I paid for a show to do with this Def Jam A&R, and he was supposed to be so big, and I looked him up and I checked him out and I looked at all his credentials and I was like, okay, this guy's legit. So I went, I paid for the showcase, did the showcase, and this guy sat on stage by the DJ with a rope around him the whole night.
What do you mean a rope?
Like one of those VIP ropes.
Oh, so you can't even say, hey,
you couldn't interact with him. You couldn't speak to him before, after, or during, nothing. He was just sitting up like as if he was a judge. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wait a minute. Like, how is this? How are you really meeting a person? Even if you give a great performance, I realized I went to one show and this artist, he did give a good performance. And he had a lot of people there really like celebrating and shouting them out and whatnot, right? But like I told y'all, I'm a behind the scenes person. So when I dig deeper into this artist, come to find out he was the cook for the venue that the showcase was at. So why everybody in the club going crazy? Because it's mostly staff in the club. Now, I'm not trying to be funny, but you got your waitresses. I'm like, the bottle girls was going crazy. The waitresses was going crazy. The bartenders was going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the club owner was going crazy. I'm sitting there like, damn, this nigga is lit. You feel me? And then come to find out he's the cook. He's the cook for the venue. Not to say that, it took away from his moment, not to say it take away from who he was or what he did. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm asking myself, damn, what's really going on in here? You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot more behind the scenes that we don't know that happens when you on an indie level. Like on the indie level, you have to on the industry level, there's games being played without unbeknownst to your knowledge, right? But on the indie level, you have to assume games are being played even with all the knowledge in the world. You have to you have to assume every deal is a bad deal until it is actually successful. You have to assume every look is going to get you on, even when it's not, or even if it doesn't. You still have to go to the next one. I mean, with an industry move, there is no such thing as a bad move. I mean, even if you go to a venue, even if they send you to a venue, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to get paid? I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to get paid? Now, ask yourself at the indie level, if you get to a bad venue, what's the worst that can happen? You're not going to get paid. I mean, it's crazy because industry, no one showing up, you still get paid. Indie, no one showing up, you owe somebody money.
But you got to get to industry.
The thing about it is you can't get to industry if you move indie. Like if you move like a peon, you get treated like a peon. And at the end of the day, guys, I don't care if you choose to be an indie label or a signed artist, right? The idea is for you to be smart enough to know what it is you want and what you're getting into fairly, right? Like I'm not telling you don't sign a deal or do sign a deal. I'm telling you, whatever you do, you're supposed to understand, okay, this is what I'm getting into. I can't scream, someone is screwing me over, someone is cheating me, or I'm not getting a fair deal, or I'm not getting support or whatever. You can't scream these things if you understand where you're playing about the game that you're playing. So now if you want to be indie, then by all means, you be indie. But what you have to understand is that means you are willing to pay and you are willing to take care of everything that needs to happen. And anything that doesn't happen, you have to acknowledge wherever you are in your career as an indie artist is your fault or your doing, right? And that's good and or bad. If you see an indie artist getting it, then it's his fault. He did that. If you see an indie artist not doing it, then it's his fault. He did that. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, every single artist that's indie that gets it and that's doing it is moving towards industry. That's the only reason that we like them. And the crazy part about it is, I don't like this. I don't like how all these people act like they I don't like how all these people act like indie is the way to go when all they promote all day long is everyone major. Everyone signed. All they do.
What do you mean? All they do is promote by?
I mean, you ask anybody their top 5. They're not gonna name you 5 unsigned people.
I mean, that's depending on how you ask the question.
The point is, it shouldn't even matter. They're gonna automatically assume. You know what I'm saying? Listen, they're gonna automatically assume you're asking their top 5, and when you asking them their top 5, they can easily say, let's just say J Money Gives, ISO Zay, Get Richer, Fool One Eli, Sixxcess. They can easily say those names, but no, they pull them out their ass. Drake, Jay-Z, Gucci, right? So, but yeah, you're preaching stay indie, stay indie. You know what I'm saying? So I asked y'all, like, why is that today? way of thinking nowadays. Like, since when did we become so anti-winning, right? Since when did we become so anti-unity, so
No, you did
anti-teamwork?
call it anti-winning, and I'm gonna just stop you right. What do you mean anti-winning? You can still win independently.
You can't win independently, right? Because everybody that's a king did it with a soldiers, with a unit, with people behind them,
Right.
right? You you never walk. Let's go back to our Bible. Even Jesus picked up 12 disciples,
Mm.
right? I mean, and at that time, obviously, I guess nobody was walking around with 12 people ready to spread their word. Obviously, that's what made Jesus so like, what the hell going on? Even the kings and them only had about 3 or 4 people ready to spread their word for them. So I mean, let's just be real. Like the industry spreads your word, right? Like if you think that if a lot of y'all don't like to pay for no type of promotion and marketing, right?
Yeah.
But they think that the industry, I guess they just thinks that this happens, but they pay for these things. They pay for TV placements. A Super Bowl ad. I would like for all of y'all that's listening, whenever you get time, to Google what a Super Bowl ad cost, or what an ad on TV cost, or what an ad on the radio cost, or what just a regular all these YouTube ads that you see, what they really cost. And then you ask yourself, well, dang, if this artist is on all of these promoting and coming across my screen, how much did he really pay? And then you can sit up there and say, well, I know that artist ain't paying nothing. Well, yeah, how much did that label pay to make sure that this artist was everywhere you see? And then you ask yourself, can I put that much up? And I mean, like, listen, by all means, if you got 100K, 200K to put up on each single, right? Then guess what? You winning. You definitely winning for right now. And I want to tell you, I want to tell you right now that while you're winning, enjoy it. Understand the cops are looking, and possibly the feds. I'm just trying to tell y'all.
It could be 100K, 200K legit.
Nah, it can't be. It can't be. All I'm saying is clean it up. Clean it up. You know what I'm saying? Keep it clean. Because at the end of the day, the boys are going to be looking. Because guess what you cannot do? Y'all listen. At the end of the day, if a regular nigga from around the hood goes from driving a Camry or Corolla to now pulling up in a Mercedes, y'all all looking. You're like, whoa, how did he get that 2020 S500?
Uh-huh.
Like, whoa, wait a minute. What's happening right now? The whole hood. So if you think that a person can be from the hood and pulling up in industry numbers, right? And pulling up in industry shows and industry stuff, well, I hate to say it, y'all, but don't y'all shoot me. Pew. I possibly take that shot. But we see what happens to those people, those artists, right? We see what happens to them. They either get arrested, taken down, or they get murdered, right? And the sad thing about it is we understand two things in this world. If we're looking, if the people are looking, the feds are looking, then the haters are looking as well. So one thing that the industry also is what we call protection, cleaning it up, right? Moving the right way. I mean, listen, I know all these indie artists, they know it's a quick come up right now in the game. And that's what for real is tainting the game and making everything in the industry so bad right now, right? All of these people that can go out, flip, work, and then get in the industry are making it bad for all of the people with talent. Did you see Boosie say it's not about talent anymore? Now, I believe I said that last year. No one cared. Actually, that was really crazy because Boosie said it today, and y'all are like, oh, yeah, Boosie said it's not about talent anymore. Sixxcess said that last year. And everyone's like, what do you mean? It's not about talent. Well, it's not about talent anymore, y'all. We are against the groupies, gangsters, dealers, and all the killers. We against them. Like, y'all don't understand now. This joke is about this joke is about who can sell the most or who can give off the perception of selling the most, and they'll make sure that you sell all of it. And if you can't play by the rules or clean up your act, they have no problem with removing you off the board because they lose nothing by investing in you. I mean, let's just be blunt and real here. If you go to jail, your sales go up. If you die, your sales go up. If you play by the rules and keep working for them, your sales go up. So at the end of the day, how do they fucking lose? By investing in you as an artist. Well, I tell you how you lose being indie. You don't get none of that. I mean, I hate you indie artists that be like, I hate you indie artists that be trying to tell me that y'all doing good. And I'm real live. I can look at all y'all information. I can look your names up and I see that you're not registered. I see that you're not getting no royalties on your investments. And I damn sure can see that you're not doing no numbers on your projects. And I know for a fact how you getting in your shows. And I'm like, damn, you bringing all your hoods. So you happy with that? That's cool. And the clubs are paying y'all, so that's great. But I'm like, y'all should get a deal. You should be trying to get a deal. Nah, I'm indie. I'm gonna stay indie. Nah. You got all these people following you. You got all this money. You should be going for a record deal because you need protection. You need to be able to get away, and you need to clean it up. It's time to clean it up, people. Right? If we ain't learning nothing from today's world, is that nothing is off limits.
That's true.
Did you see the dude kill his girlfriend and ex-wife in broad daylight?
I heard about it. I didn't really follow up. I seen the thing in my Google News.
Yeah, in Baltimore. This happened in Baltimore. He killed them in broad daylight. His girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, and his ex-wife.
And it was
And then
because
himself.
they.
Well,
What was it about? Was it over the kids or something? What was it?
Well, it was, his ex-wife and his ex-girlfriend was spreading rumors about him and trying to take his kids away from him, and he wasn't having it. He wasn't happy about it. And the thing about it is, I really don't want to touch on it because I don't know how I feel about it. Right? Like he allegedly had his kids in the car at the time. He allegedly was being accused of like sexually assaulting his kids.
Oh,
Um, and it was all by his ex-wife. And apparently in the video, he claims that his ex-girlfriend was going to take his kids away from him in the same manner and say that he had touched his kids so he couldn't see them. And apparently this was an unborn child. So, you know how that was going. She was already planning to say it. So he just shot her and killed her and then went and killed his ex-girlfriend went and killed his ex-wife because I guess he felt like she was the one who implemented this idea, this lifestyle into his life. And he felt alone and no one to speak to and shit like that. And this shit is getting crazy and out of hand because mental health is like really something that a lot of people are not really talking about, but men in particular are really trying to keep quiet about a lot of stuff that they're going through. But we're in a social media world where nothing is off limits now.
that's crazy. Because that's like something you can't even really get past. Like once your name is stained with that, like it's always stained with that. And my thing is, I mean, he could have. It's a lot of things he could have done, but damn,
Man, look, dude, like it's crazy because I can never say I feel somebody that takes lives and then their own life, right? We never can say that. But I think that system in Maryland, if I can do anything with my power, with my position, with my influence, I would really strike to like really have some reconditioning done with the whole Merlin system, and I'm pretty sure it's like that all around the world, but I've experienced it firsthand with the Merlin system, right? The Merlin judicial system is terrible, but the Merlin family system is worse. Is like 20 times worse. Like, so I totally understand it, and it does not work in the favor of a man at all. And the crazy part is, a man nowadays should not be at the burden of what people say. However, more than ever, men are more at the burden of just what is said, right? Than any proof has to be brought. And it's like at the point now where it's not just race anymore. This is a gender thing where men have lost all type of power position in this world. You know? So that is like, honestly, this shift, this is not how the world was intended for us to be living.
Mm.
I mean,
I think to see how, you know, saying like probably
listen, men
can't.
are not supposed
Nobody's gonna believe you.
men are not supposed to be at the bottom, right? Period. We're like, it's like, I'm not saying that women are supposed to be at the bottom. Women are supposed
Well,
to
what are you
find
saying then?
women are supposed to find their place side by side with the right man. You know what I'm saying? And that's how that is supposed to be. There's supposed to be a side by side union. You know what I'm saying? But men are now at the bottom. You see what I'm saying? And they're not meant to be there. And it's costing a whole. Do you understand? Like, let's just be quite frank here, right? Do you see all of the athletes and all of the superstars? Most of them are all women now because these are the top people in the world now, right?
Mm.
But all of them are talking about how much stress they're under and how overworked they feel. Sweetie just came out feeling overworked. Doja Cat feeling overworked. What was the other female that just what was the chick that walked out the Olympics? Simone Biles feeling overworked. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the things, because at the end of the day, if y'all don't think that men have been getting worked the same way for years in the industry, and still to this day, you don't think a man have to get up and be meeting at get a photo shoot, go do clothing, do this, do that. Well, men are not getting those calls anymore, right? Those calls to promote the brand are not going to men anymore. They're going to the women. Hey, come throw on this bathing suit, come throw on this, come get in this video, come be on this, come do this. While the men at home, looking at ourselves like, what the hell? Watching our women become sex symbols and have the word and say whatever they want to say and do whatever they want to do, and we have to watch this now, because now as a man, really, you cannot step up against what a woman is doing. Listen, if you see your girl twerking online, you best off just not being with her, as opposed to telling her, I don't want you. I don't want you twerking online.
Yeah.
You controlling?
Not not even that. If she respected you, she wouldn't be doing it in the first place.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, what is that word? Does that word still exist?
What, respect?
Yes.
It should.
Oh man, we're gonna have to do a Google search to see if that word. Ever since Birdman said it wrong on Breakfast Club,
Mhm.
ever since he said it wrong, it hasn't existed anymore. Like,
I
it's just
mean,
it's just like they threw the word out.
I just don't feel like men should be going through all that they're going through. Like that story that you just told me, like it's still going through in my head. Like that's a thing. Like putting that, even women in general using kids is
Yeah,
like,
as targets and collateral damage.
yeah, that's just not cool at all.
Nope.
But I also encourage men, from day one to be on top of your shit, because but then I'm like, in that situation, even if he was to take it to court, it's up to the child now
Let me tell
to.
y'all. Let me tell y'all how crazy all of this shit correlates. Being an indie artist is no different than being an unprepared single father or unprepared father about to go through it with your baby mother and the legal system, right? Because at the end of the day, when I talk about fighting up against machines, against yourself, right? And it's crazy how this is going to correlate. But when you are fighting against that system, the minute that baby mother gets any type of legal system involved, them agencies automatically give her a legal team. Half the time, she don't even have to show up to pronounce any of the bullshit that's about to be spewed against you. Now, the general men, if you get into a criminal problem, most of the men in the urban areas have to get a public defender. They walk them to the public defender's office. But when you fight against a system like family court, you're not allowed to get a public defender.
Why not?
You know why not? I'll tell you why not. Because it's very fucking cynical, y'all. But because when you can get a lawyer in on this, then you plan with their money. When you can even out the playing field with the law that you have to know, you plan with their money. As an indie artist, when you get to the knowledge that they know and you start leveling out the playing field, then you start playing with their money. So like that's why they tell you if you don't have a legal business entertainment lawyer, you already screwing yourself over. What? Okay. Well, if you don't have a lawyer for your children and for your girlfriend that you ought to have a baby by, you are, even if it's your wife and you think it's going around, once those situations happen, you got to get a lawyer, right? Because at the end of the day, like I said, you are about to be fighting against a team by yourself. That's like
So you could get a lawyer, but just not a public defender.
Yeah, you can get a lawyer, but you can't get a public defender. And a public defender only defends criminal cases if you're about to do time in prison.
Oh, okay.
Or jail. So it's really interesting that they don't offer public defenders to young black fathers or young fathers that's about to go into it. And I mean, y'all, I'm just gonna say young black fathers. I'll keep it at that because young white fathers don't go through that.
Oh, yes, they do. Speaking of which, you didn't see that video of that white man that went to, I think it was either his baby mama.
Yeah, that was in Texas. Yeah, I saw that. That was his ex-wife.
Yeah, and that was shot him dead.
Well, listen, let me tell you why that situation does not correlate to a black man situation, right? Because as you heard in that video, he had the rights to see his son on a scheduled time. Also, as you heard in that video, he went to her mother's house where he knew the child was and obviously was not allowed in because she wasn't there. So then he proceeded to also talk about in this video how he was at her boyfriend's house, her now boyfriend's house, because he wanted to just see his son, who he knew was not there at the boyfriend's house. So let me tell you why this situation gets a little trickier and a lot more interesting. Because you know why that white man was allowed to get shot down like, let's just say it, like a dog? Well, because in the great state of Texas, we got a good old rule called carry and protect your home and your property. Where did that white man fall at? On that man's porch? What did that white man do before he got shot? He announced that I'm going to take that gun out of your hand and shoot you in the face, proceeded to grab the gun, and then got shot. Well, my friends, that's not quite the same.
White fathers still do have to fight for custody.
I get they do.
It's just as bad.
Now listen, let me tell you something. That custody thing, fighting for, is a poverty thing. It's not. If a white person is fighting for it, he's below the poverty line. A black father is automatically considered below the poverty line. Period. Once he gets into the legal system. Like, you even realize this. when you talk about real like celebrities that you hear getting caught up in the system of child support or family law, right? The only ones that you hear getting caught up in it are the ones that fell off. Never the ones that are popping or doing it or up. You're not gonna hear about them being in trouble with child support and trouble with this and trouble with that. It's only the ones that fell off that are no longer making what their baby mothers are attacking them at, right? And really will be drained if they even get a legal team on it.
Well, this is my grievance with this whole situation. I feel like in our community, our men don't try hard enough. So they're not even stable enough on their own. So in the situation where the mom does want to take the kid from you, half the time the men don't be on their own feet, don't have a job, don't have a place.
Hey,
So it makes it so much easier for the court to just decide one
like I said,
on
like
one
I said,
side. But
the shift.
let's hold accountability to these men. Like if you were in a situation and you as soon as you see things getting rocky, you go out, you get a place, you have proof of income, and you're proactive about it. Like, hey, look, I want this, between our kids. If you want to put me on child support, cool. But isn't there a way to do it like that? Because I don't know. I've never been in
Now
family
listen,
court, but isn't
there
there a
probably
way
there
to
probably
come
is.
prepared and be like, hey, no, you're not gonna have full custody. Like I am perfectly stable to take care of this child. We're gonna have joint custody. It, I don't want to pay you child support, but if I make more and I have to help you out, that's cool. Most
Yeah.
of the time, men do not want to have primary custody.
Nah,
Don't
listen.
let the kid live with the baby mama and all of that other stuff, which is
Yeah.
another factor that plays into
Yes.
court because it's
Yes.
like, oh, okay, well, she's already been bearing full responsibility for this child.
Yes.
We might as well give it to her. So
Yes.
I just feel like black men in general, when you know that you've impregnated a female and you really want to be in that child's life, get your shit together. Don't
And
depend, don't be
honestly,
codependent, like as if to say she can't just up and kick you out one day and
yes.
decide to take you to court. Like you have
Yes.
to be proactive.
And I love that. I love what that what just happened right there. That underlying dynamic that we have, where you were able to give the female perspective, right? And the beauty of it is, it's not usually a platform like this, and we usually don't talk about stuff like this. But it's not usually a platform where you got a guy and a female that are able to converse back and forth without it being combative, right?
Mhm.
And when I talk about that shift in America, that shift where females became on top and guys became on the bottom, that's also what came with that shift. Guys not having their own stuff, guys not being dependent, guys pretty much have altered their own success to make sure women are good, not because they want to, but because it's simply what's easier in
Yep.
this microwave world today, right? So let, let's let's simply talk about in the 70s where it was the women who literally did stay at home with the children all day. You know what I'm saying? Didn't work. The husbands went out and worked. So whenever something happened in those spousal situations, naturally the child was going to be going with the mother, and the father was going to be continuing to support the family as he was already doing. Okay, so that's when the laws were set up, the rules were set up, the guidelines. Now, we talk about almost, let's just say 50, 60 years ago, almost 70 years ago, these laws were in place. Now, the shift has happened in the world, but the laws haven't shifted to cater to the shift in the world because now we've acknowledged that there are more stay at home dads than ever before. Moms are out working. Moms are out taking care of things. Moms own the cars. Moms' names on the house. Dads are pretty much at home doing what moms used to do. However, in the eye of the law, if they split up, it's not looked at that way. It automatically goes back to 70 years ago when this man was taking care of everything, and now he has to continue to do that. Even in a situation where there's a lot of situations now where women have to do that. You know what I'm saying? And because the law is so set up to where it's just a numbers game. and it's just whatever he say or she say. And I don't want it to be like this is just men, because women have to go through the same laws. If a man beat them to it, then now they're subjected to the side of the man, right? Because listen, I'm not saying that women don't go through it, but I'm saying that women are treated like men when they go through it, right? If a man brings a woman to court and says to the court, this woman is doing this and I need, custody of my kids. This man has to prove a lot that this woman is unfit to be a mom, right? There's a whole situation and she has to realize, make it so evident that she's unfit in order to lose them on the first try. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is a process. Now, when she finally loses them, she now understands what millions of men go through every day across the world. And at the end of the day, she doesn't get the support like a mother. She'll start getting ostracized in America when people find out you lost your kids. What? You paying child support? What? She'll work bum jobs. She'll do dumb, crazy things. She'll probably go crazy. Like I said, like, this world is not meant for this shift that we are in right now, where men have taken the roles of being at the bottom and women have taken the roles of just dominating everything. And I mean, like, I don't say it to be sexist, because I like it. I think that everybody is supposed to be on one equal, side by side to make things stronger. But for some reason, because everything has become so easier for females, I mean, listen, a female artist right now, a female unsigned artist definitely is going to get signed before a male unsigned artist. And I hate to say it, females. I hate to say it, females, but it's because y'all are moving like men was moving in the 90s, right? And it's called fast, reckless, and loose, right? So not like horn around, but I'm talking about like making any decision without thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they throw a contract in your face, you're gonna sign it. Now, men, here go men. Oh, what's my cut? Do I own the masters? Like asking shit like, who's the, men are asking the questions now that we wasn't asking back in the day. Because when back in the day, we were the fast and loose ones. We were so happy to come in the house and slam the contract on the wife's desk. Like, we brought home the bacon. We got the deal. You know what I'm saying? We was happy to bring home the check. We made it. You know what I'm saying? But now that's how women are. They like, ooh, I got the deal. Now what? You know what I'm saying? And then they read it like 5 years later. They like Megan, like, nah, I never knew I couldn't perform with BTS. And I never knew I couldn't do collabs. And I didn't say that. They're like, Megan, you signed it right here. Page 2, section 1. She's like, no, I didn't know it said that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean? I didn't know I was going to only get 30K. I didn't know I was going to only get 85K. Like, that's the things. But at the end of the day, they moving like men was moving. And see, the thing is, all these men that want to be indie because the streets. And when you realize this, the streets are making all the indie male artists now. If the streets are making all the male artists, where are all the guys that want to be artists running to? The streets.
Hold on, what?
I say, if the industry is selecting all of the street niggas now, then where are all the regular niggas that want to be industry running to now? They run into the streets.
Okay.
Because they looking at all of the people that's telling them I'm indie. They are from the streets. They in the streets. It's all hustlers. It's all dealers. It's all groupies and drug dealers and killers at the top. So now when you looking at these niggas, like the people that's real life in the game, that's like, oh, I want to be indie. I want to stay indie, because they looking at them. And like, they're not telling them, no, I have a partnership with the record label. No. I'm indie, but I have a distribution deal with the label. No, I work with the label. No, I have a publicist. No, I actually have a manager and a marketing team. No, I actually, you know what I'm saying? They don't know these things. They automatically thinking, oh yeah, if I kill a nigga, I'm on the news. I'm about to be the next nigga. Or if I'm serving them everybody on my block, that's what I gotta do. I gotta serve everybody on my block because this next artist said, the biggest artist said that's what he did. So now I gotta do it. But it's like, nah, that's not he telling you that. Why? That's because he's spreading an agenda. You know what I'm saying? To keep, listen, it's $6 billion that got to be split between 100 people, right? They don't want to make it split between 200 people. Like, so yeah, you have to start asking yourselves. I want y'all to stay indie, but I want y'all to ask yourself, what is this indie artist really doing that got them on? Besides the hanging on the block and the shooter, like, okay, I seen he had 10 shows last month. I need to book me 10 shows. Now I need to go out here and get me 10 bodies because he said he did it in the song. You know, like if this artist is telling you he indie, like I want to find out, is he with BMI? Is he with ASCAP? You know, like I want to find out like how many songs did he get put in rotation on the radio? Like how much did he pay for that package? Or if he didn't, who did he meet? Like who do you have to meet? Like I would like to ask, like, oh, you didn't pay to get on the radio? Who'd you meet? Well, I met Dante. He's the program director, and we was cool. Oh, I met Martin. He was a DJ, and this, and he was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't give the false narrative that it was just the hustling, the bustling, and you indie, and you making all this money because you indie. When we know that that's not the truth. Because if these artists knew that you took a bag from the label, they would change their tune a lot, I believe. If you believe if indie artists came out and said, yeah, I'm independent, but I'm signed with Atlantic, you know what I'm saying? Like, guess what? All indie artists would be like, wait a minute, I want to sign, I should get signed with somebody. I should move right.
Yeah.
You know? Well, I mean, Money Man put out a whole Bitcoin album, pretty much telling people how to make money in Bitcoin, and all his fans now you can't even talk to his fans. They're like, nigga, you got Bitcoin?
Somebody asked me that the other day. I was like,
you like, what? Yeah, I got Bitcoin, but what about it? Yeah, you know, I use nothing but blockchain now. You like, okay, Money Man.
And that's what I want to learn about because I'm trying to figure out, okay, so how do you pay for things? How you cash out?
Oh, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. Just get one of the apps and play around on it. That's what I would do.
Okay.
You know, get one of the apps, play around with like $10, move money around, buy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Have fun with it, play around with it. But also, like, it's easy to use. The sites are easy to navigate. Plus, a lot of the apps right now, it's just like Apple Pay. So, you know, you just bloop, bloop, hit the Bitcoin, transfer it to the dollar amount that you need, and then bloop, bloop, hold the phone over it, and it go right to it. It's pretty easy. I like Bitcoin. One day I may have like $100 in the account. Then the next day I wake up and it'd be like 150 or something like that, 120, 130, 105, whatever the case may be. One day it might be $90 in there. You know, you just keep it in there, then it go back up to like 150. You know what I'm saying? So it's always cool. It's always cool just leave in there. Use whatever you don't need, you know, something like that. But I use it more like a savings account now, like a little savings account, as opposed to putting money in my savings account. I throw in Bitcoin, whatever I'm about to save. But hey, who knows, man? Who knows? Pushing the envelope. But when I tell y'all that this shift is crazy, and we have to understand two things. I want people to take from this day to understand two things: that you indie thinking and industry thinking is far apart. You know, and the industry loves it that way, and it's really how you get to tell who's really, you know, in this for the long haul, who's in this for, you know, to be for longevity. And I mean, like, honestly, like I said, none of your top fives, none of your heroes are indie artists. None of the artists that you grew up that made you want to rap are indie artists. None of the artists that you fell in love with are indie artists. And I mean, don't tell me about Mark that you used to rap with every day. He made you start loving rap, and then he died, and you kept rapping because you wanted to keep his name alive. Don't tell me you met John at your high school and John was rapping, and then you started rapping and you kept rapping forever. Don't give me these type of stories, right?
But what
Because
does
nah,
he
listen,
really
let me tell y'all, because at the end of the day, knowledge. If a person says they fall in love with something, they don't just stop at what's around them, right? I mean, like, you ever met a kid who love Hot Wheels, and then now you meet him, he now like a mechanic, or collect fast cars or collect exotic cars and stuff like that. He might not even be a mechanic. He just got his car painted like one of his Hot Wheels or something like that. So car club niggas, you know what I'm saying? They all probably used to collect Hot Wheels when they was kids and shit. So it's like, nah, like, at the end of the day, you have a love, someone introduces you to it, but if you really love it, you indulge in it, you know? And your guy around the way that wasn't making no money off of it and only rap for you is not the one that inspired you to rap for millions of people. You see what I'm saying? I mean, if you just rapped around your friends and you just rapped when you was around other people and you didn't put out no records, then maybe you could have that story. But when you talk about you want to be on stage, who you perform like? You don't perform like John. Who'd you see on stage that made you want to touch that stage? He was not indie.
What if it was John?
Nah, like, if it was John, then you only want to go as high as John went. You never want to be signed. If John never got signed, and if John was close to being signed and really on, your perception of that was still based on, industry and how the industry was moving. Because if John was moving like an industry dude to the point where he had the crowds going crazy, and he was killing shows every night, and he was around the way rapping for everybody, and everybody followed him, that's not indie. That's not indie moving. I mean, was John selling CDs? What was John doing indie that made you say I'm gonna stay indie? Was John in front of you handling the business? like, 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 now listen, like, honestly, like, was John in front of you like, yeah, listen, I'm gonna come out tonight, but make sure you have my $1,000 tonight when I come in the door, and I'm gonna be there. Okay, make sure y'all register them shows. All right, make sure y'all get the contract on that beat we about to do. Was John in front of you doing that stuff to teach you how to be indie? Because if not, then no. Then of course not. And if John was getting paid and doing all this stuff and not showing you, then John was moving like an industry person. Because they're not going to tell you how it is. They're just doing it. And you see it and you be inspired by it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can't have your cake and eat it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. At the end of the day, because you fell for someone who didn't fully reach the full potential of where they was trying to go, you know what I'm saying? Based on how people move, it's based on how you have to understand what they're trying to do. And when I see people saying, pay me and I can make you this, pay me and I can put you on billboards, pay me and I can put you on shows and stuff like that, it don't make me feel like they trying to scam me, right? Because a scam is only something that does not work, or something that does not fulfill what it's supposed to fulfill, and you don't even know these people or how that shit works. But if you making these relationships and you meet somebody and you see somebody on Instagram and y'all are talking and you go to a few of his shows and you want to pay him now to be on one of these shows because you saw a lot of people in there, or somebody that you want to see you is going to be in there, by all means, that is what you need to do. But you need to treat it like it's an industry thing. Don't get in there acting indie and perform like all the indie niggas like you got your shit together, because you in there to be seen. You in there to be on. You in there to be helped. That's why you paid for that. So perform like that. Give these people a show, right? Get up there, practice whatever you're going to do. Give them a show. Put on for that moment. Because at the end of the day, You only get one opportunity. So don't tell me that I paid to be seen, but I was there and I watched you the whole night, never even speak to the person. I watched you. And like, listen, honestly, let me tell y'all a true story. I was in the studio with a very important producer. Now, when we walked in the studio, they had the studio doors closed, right? I
Mhm.
didn't know who was in the studio session. All I knew is the music that was coming out of there was fire. So I'm sitting there like, I'm like, all right, everyone is smoking and everyone is chilling. And I'm like, dang, man, who was in that studio? They told me who was in the studio. So you know what I did? I kindly got out of the smoke session and I went and stood by the door. Because even though I could not go in the studio, I knew one thing for certain: the bathroom wasn't in there. They had to come out. So every time they came out, every time they went in, I would peek in and make sure and see who all was in there. And I was like, oh, and every time somebody came out, what's up with Sixxcess? Hey, what's up? Oh, everybody's still in the back smoking. Everybody's still in the back smoking. Before I knew it, I'm walking out with 5 phone numbers and important people, and made some important connections. But everyone is asking me, hey, how'd you meet this person? And then guess what's the craziest part about it is? All of the people that chose to sit in the back and like smoke and meet people and stuff like that, they ended up paying for studio meet and greets. So they paid to meet the people that I had simply walked out of the smoke session and met in the hallway while they was all passing and going by.
Because you're
I,
determined.
I
You're
had
truly determined and motivated and ambitious. And
It's about a want. It's about a want. It's about understanding like
I don't think somebody. I mean, they probably didn't even put two and two together. Like, hey,
nah.
if I try,
That, now let me tell you, in the industry, everybody has handlers, right? And the handlers get paid to make sure that right? Every artist knew the purpose of going to the studio, right? While they were going to that studio, they opted to smoke more weed and be more lit than to actually meet people.
yeah,
And literally by the time, I wish I could make this up, guys, but by the time they all came out the smoke room where they were all smoking,
mhm.
everyone had left the studio. I had already had numbers and sent off links and things like that. And I was like, yeah, y'all just missed them. They just left. They're like, why did you come get us? I'm like, because I was talking to them. Like, I couldn't stop talking to them to come get y'all. Like,
Right.
when I stepped off, why didn't y'all step off? I mean, I didn't even know who was here because I'm a guest. Y'all are artists. Y'all have handlers. All of y'all handlers were looking at me like, make sure, make sure, make sure. You know what I'm saying? They all wanted to make sure that they had their interviews, that they had all paid for. But none of them had understood that if you're paying to be in the studio, why are you sitting back smoking and chilling? I mean, I guess people got it like that. But that's indie mindset. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess those people looked at them like, yeah, they got it. They already good. They already set. So what they need us for? To hear a song? All right, good. We heard it. Cool. They on their way. Keep making strides.
Mm.
None of the artists that's on ever told y'all a story where they walked in thinking they already had it. I mean, I keep using Big Sean because his story is really in my head, evident. But that man stalked Kanye West and bust a freestyle.
You said follow. Oh, follow. Some
Yeah.
people's pride and ego won't allow them to cross. You know what I'm saying? To go outside of their
Yes.
norm. And
Yes.
I think I'm one of those people. Like,
You
if
you you you're getting better with it, but yes, you are.
if I'm really determined, I'll go out my way. But I'll put myself to where you will see me, but I won't go out my way for you to see me. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And
I'm
like,
realizing that sometimes I have to just, especially you running a business and you as an artist, you are a business. You have to put yourself out there. You have to put yourself out there. Like it's not just gonna walk over to you just because you look important.
yep.
Sometimes you have to put yourself out there, and
Sometimes you can look too important,
that's true.
and that's
Yeah,
like
unapproachable. I get that a
sometimes you
lot.
can look unapproachable. And like honestly, in this industry, it's crazy because the only ones that can be unapproachable are the ones that that everyone knows is unapproachable. It's like, oh man, they go, I don't know, maybe let's say Chris Jenner or somebody. It's like, oh, Chris Jenner's in there. I know I'm not about to walk over to her, but hopefully she sees me. You know,
Right.
but even then, I mean, most people, you gotta just read the rooms, I guess. You know, I don't know. Like I'm numb to reality now. You know what I'm saying? With me personally, I've grown numb to reality. I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, look, at the end of the day, what we used to think is real is no longer real. What we used to think can't happen can happen. What we used to think is off limits is no longer off limits.
Yeah.
Like we have to assume now that I can make $1 million overnight. I gotta tell y'all artists that keep asking me about NFTs.
Mm.
Yes, there are artists making millions of dollars in 30 minutes, an hour, and things like that. Yes, these artists already have millions and millions of followers. No, if you put your stuff on there, you will not make millions of dollars in matters of minutes. Yes, in time, you can make money on it if you build your followers. I need y'all to understand something. All of these new things that are being created and giving you all the illusion that you can be a quick success story. All of the success stories on there come there with their own success. And this is just an avenue for people to buy direct. If no one was buying your album before, because you throw it on NFT, doesn't mean people are gonna buy it. And I need y'all to understand that because I get a lot of y'all asking me, yo, Six, are you gonna throw your album on NFT? Yo, Six, do you think I should put an album on NFT? And by all means, yes, do whatever you want to do with your album. I just want you to understand something. If you didn't sell an album on Spotify or Apple Music, you won't sell an album on NFT. Now, what y'all
You
have to
talking
understand,
about sell versus stream?
yeah, sell versus stream. And let's not even talk about stream. But what y'all have to understand is if you're not willing to do any marketing or any promotion behind your stuff, and if share it on your page, okay, whatever. That's nice. Sharing it on your page is cool. I get it. You shared it all week, but if you're not willing to do any marketing behind your campaigns, well, don't don't ask me why you're not doing well or why you're not where you're supposed to be. And honestly, there's so much marketing stuff out here. I mean, like you got YouTube, Facebook, and all that stuff, Google. If y'all don't trust people, trust them. I mean, don't sit up here and ask what why is this company popping when if you Google something and the first thing you see on it, the first little segments that you see, they all have this little square that say ad beside it. That doesn't mean after death or after date, people. That means ad. That means that company paid Google to make sure that when you type in pants, you knew that they had the pants for you. When you typed in red shirt, when you typed in Boss Biz Radio or whatever it is you typed in, it was right there to let you know that we know that you're looking for it. And y'all don't understand how any of this stuff works, but at the end of the day, if you're not a mechanic, would you know how to change an oil gasket and all that stuff? And I'm trying to tell y'all, if one of y'all people say I'm not a mechanic, but I know how to change an oil gasket, you're a mechanic. You just don't get paid for it. You
I
don't got to.
don't know if there. I know how to dump my oil out and pour it back in, but change the gasket.
You know how to
No,
change your oil.
yeah. I had never done it, but I know how to jack up my car, get under there, unscrew the thing, dump the oil out, and then pour the new oil in.
Okay,
But
just
I used to hang with my mechanic though, like because, and every time he fixed my car, I would ask him how did he do it because it was under the table and I ain't trust him. But he would walk me through everything that he does. He would, you know. So
man, let me tell you something. I don't know none of that shit. I ain't even interested.
why not? Oh, you could pay somebody to do it,
Lord, that's my goal, right?
like
Be-
say,
Listen, and then look, one day, one of my friends told me that he said, "Look, I'll do your oil change for you for free. Just get all the stuff and don't worry about nothing." I went in there happy as hell. My friend was gonna do this shit for free. I dropped about $50 on all the products, all the things needed.
mhm.
And he said he changed it in about 5-10 minutes. And he said, "See, wasn't that easy?" I said, "Fuck no." I went to a goddamn store, stood in line, paid 50 something bucks. I said, "Bro, I could have pulled this joke down to my man's shop and got it out the way for $29.99. You just charged me $50."
But he probably used recycled oil as opposed to you getting it from the
Nah,
store.
nah,
That's
nah,
why
nah.
it's
My
cheaper.
Migos ain't
It's,
never. My Migos don't put that juju on
I'm
them.
telling
They ain't
you,
never
it's
did me
cheap.
like that. They
It's
always
cheaper.
get the fresh can. They always get the fresh oil. You would crank it right open. Take me 5 minutes while I'm hitting my J. Usually before I'm done my J, they say, "Mr. Chodo, you're ready," and I'm like, "This good luck," and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I pay them, swipe my card, and I'm out. I told him, I said, "Bro, this cost me $20 more. So, and I had to sit out here with you, and you hit my blunt. So look at how this works. This didn't work out for me." I said, "Thank you, but no thanks. I'll pull it around to my friends."
At least you know you didn't have recycled oil.
Yeah, I did know that. And let me tell you another thing. I don't like wearing too many hats. I don't like wearing too many hats. Now I just like to just let people that do it do it.
I'm
You
trying
know.
to adopt that. I'm trying to adopt that because I be changing my lights now. Like I'm so damn cheap. But I don't even want to tip you. With my lights. I'm
Listen,
learning how to do that shit. It's YouTube. That
woo, all I'm gonna say is you need to stop. You
I
need to stop
do.
that.
I do. But
Because
the
look,
load on my
every
back is
time,
heavy.
think about it like this. Every time that you go into a shop or to someone's business and allow them to do work for you, what you're also doing is giving yourself an opportunity to promote to their customers while you're there.
Mm.
Um, I usually sit at like little shops like that and pass out my flyers, pass out my cards, and like, "Oh, you got Spotify? Like, check this out," things like that. And that's where you meet a lot of people that really rock with you. You like not just at mechanics places, but anywhere, dentist offices, doctor's offices, but usually, like I said, where you're paying someone else for services and they have other clients coming in, it's
Right.
always the best place to be like, "Hey, boom." I mean, I got my man do my tents every car I get. But whenever I'm there, he always has a lot of people getting their car tinted. I'm always like, "Hey, you should play this while you get your car. Play this. Boom, boom, boom." And everyone is like, "Oh, this is all crazy." You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I get it's crazy weird sometimes, but sometimes you need those other mouthpieces. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like my wife bought all these goddamn dressers and drawers and stuff, right?
Mm.
And I'm sitting here like, cool. But when they came, they were in boxes for me to put together. Now, I just told y'all I'm not a handyman. These hands right here was not made to put things together.
Oh
So
shit.
I got on this little app, Thumbtack, I think it was, and I requested a handyman to come in and put all the things together. So about $150 later, he asked me, said, why don't you put all this stuff together? I was like, "Man, honestly, I'm a rapper, and I don't do stuff like this." I said, "While you were doing that, I was able to lock in 2 deals, and now I gotta take care of this and take care of that." I said, "Now that's what I do." So then the few hours it took you to do that, it took me to do this right here, right? So he's like, "Man, wait, you rap?" I'm like, yeah. I ended up making more money.
Mm.
I ended up getting paid again from him, right? So I ended up making all my money back because he's a rapper and he wanted some services and he wanted some things done. So look how crazy things work, right?
Mm.
I made a new friend, got my stuff put together, and a new client all in one swoop. So yeah, man, like the universe works for us to like real live. It's meant for us to outreach and meet people and network and help people and shit like that. Because it's crazy when even if you think about it one day, like you might feed that man one day. You may feed that person, feed that family. You know, your contribution to them that day may feed them, which may in return bring the universe back to reward and feed you. You know, you clean out your wallet and open up the room for something else in that wallet. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's true. That's
Yeah. So
I
now,
definitely want to talk about artists selling themselves with you
yes,
today.
yes,
Because I meet artists a lot and I ask them certain questions, and then I'm also at shows and I see artists being paid to perform,
yes,
to open up for bigger artists.
yes,
So I was thinking, I was like, well, if these artists are always paying to perform, how would one sell themselves to in turn get paid by these promoters to come out of town or to come to the city and
yeah,
perform? What
eh,
are artists not doing to have, because promoters have a budget, and
yes.
sometimes they actually will say, hey, I want to bring so and so out from the city and I got this much to pay you, are you willing to perform for that?
Right.
How do you become that artist?
Well, like it's crazy because ironically, that's what we've been talking about whole show. Indie
Hmm.
versus industry thinking,
Hmm.
right? I mean, like the questions about how to get paid for shows are industry questions that gets asked all day, and that's about catering, A, making yourself available, B, you know, I mean, like getting booked is a job in its own self. You're right. Reaching out to venues, reaching out to promoters, finding out what deals are, finding out what the percentages are. A lot of artists that are paid for what they bring to the table. I'm just gonna cut it high and dry. If you open enough for a big act and you can't bring 20, 30 people to see you perform, then not trying to be funny, but do we really need you there? I mean, like a promoter would be willing to break bread with you half of 500, half of 1,000, as opposed to paying you for nothing. Like I said, why should somebody pay you to just rap? Answer me that when everybody's rapping on stage that night that is getting paid already.
Right.
Like, and at the end of the day, this is just like the real world, right? And the job field is just like the real world. If me and you work at CVS, Jezabel, and I come in there every day and I get behind you on the register and be like this, all right, Jezebel, you got it. You gonna question why the fuck they keep me there every day and getting paid, and
Because you ain't doing
I
shit.
don't have to do nothing.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's not an ideology that's just taken out of only in the workplace. Like the workplace is an ideology of all the entrepreneurs. You see what I'm saying? Once you say that you becoming anything like an actor, artist, anything that's going to be based off your skill, you're saying to yourself, "I am catering to the entrepreneur mind, right? Not the employed mind." So if you wouldn't pay somebody, you wouldn't bring on somebody on your team and be like, look, I'm gonna pay you to just chill in the house. We ain't gotta do nothing. You ain't gotta do nothing. I'm just gonna pay you, bro. She my man. I'm
Mm,
just gonna pay you.
that's not gonna work.
But
But
then you
then,
but then you ask for the shows to pay you to do nothing but come in there and rap like everybody else.
well, how does an EPK add or shows your value to such venues or
Like
promoters or record labels for that instance?
EPKs are super important because these are what we call. So let me tell you, EPK is electronic press kit, right? Electronic press kit, and that is simply all your links with all your everything, your numbers, pretty much, right? At the end of the day, you can't be out here. If you got an EPK with a video that got 100 views on it, then you know what I'm saying. Like EPK is like a resume showing that you put in work, right? Showing the type of quality that you can bring to that event. So that is what happens when you start asking yourselves, like, how can I start getting paid? It's about quality over anything else. I mean, like everything has to show its quality before it makes it to the distribution line. I mean, they're not just the shirt company at Walmart. You know, they didn't become the shirt company because they just called Walmart and had some stuff. Like, no, they already had a brand, and Walmart said, look, you should come on in here and do your thing. Y'all look at all these major stores, everything that they selling there is nothing but a bunch of artists and a bunch of independent people who showed that they were willing and able to play on a big scale and got picked up. So now they don't got to worry about nothing. I mean, sure, they could have stayed at Rainbow. Sure, they could have opened up the little mom and pop store. But come on now, everyone goes to Walmart. So why not send my little shirt with the princesses on it, or my little shacks to Walmart as opposed to opening up a shack store? You know, I mean, does that not seem logical? Now, surely Shaquille O'Neal, you want to tell me Shaquille O'Neal don't got enough money to put a shack store on every corner? But come on, it's easier to get all of y'all to go into Walmart. It's easier to get all the artists to click on the Universal's music page than it is to try to get them to click on your website. It's easier to get people to go to Spotify than it is to get people to go to your album on your website. That's why we all do it. That's why everyone does it. And you don't want to look like ew when people get there. Because honestly, that's the main thing.
That's why it's important to have your footage or have some, you know what I'm saying, have clippings or just make sure, because sometimes artists, you go into a venue, you're performing by yourself, no one's recording you, no one's, outside of the videographers for the venue, but then you don't even build a relationship with that person and say, hey, can I shoot you a couple of dollars to just make sure you get my performance and maybe send it to me later, just to add
I
to
mean,
your
like,
portfolio.
and let's keep and like that's 100% right. But let's make it easier for them. Get into the event, make friends. Hey, what's your name? I rap too. That's what's up. You performing? I'm performing too. I record you. You record me. Bet. Let's do that. You know, like what? Why are we not? Why are we not any making friends? Like these are, like I told y'all, showcases and stuff like that. Because at a real performance, at a real concert, you're going to get footage. You don't have to worry about these things. Someone's already catching the footage, right? But at showcases things, this is where you practicing. This is where you learning. Can you come? If I can't trust you to walk into a showcase and make friends with 10 artists in there, or 5 artists in there, or 4 artists in there, and how could I trust you to be on the road with 4 artists, 5 artists? How could I trust you to be at a big concert with 20 artists on the roster and you going up? Like, how could I trust you at a Rolling Loud type festival if you at the daggone regular show, you can't even get there on time, you can't even bring out people. And really, for when you start getting on that level, let's just be real, y'all. When you get on that level, you don't have to bring out people, right? So all of y'all that think that this is like some type of thing that is like weird, no, you do not have to bring out people all the time. You just have to understand your place in the totem pole and kill that joint every time. You feel me? To the point where no matter what, the people that matter understand what you bring to the event and they need you on. They need you seen, right? You engage with them. I mean, you don't have to bring out 1,000 people. You don't got to bring out 10 people. If you coming in by yourself and you about your business, you about networking and meeting people, and you about killing the show and having all your elements of your performances together, you don't think these people gonna talk about you? They're not cynical. They not like y'all think everybody out here to scam you. If you pay a person and you walk into a show and there's no show, there's no performance, yes, you got scammed. If you walk into a show and you perform and no one liked you or no one cared, that's your fault. I'm sorry. Because only thing a promoter usually does is allow you to perform for his guests. He don't make it like you the best thing. That's your job to let them know you the best thing.
Right.
And walking on that joint, like, yeah. Check out my album. Y'all already know on all platforms. This your boy, Sixxcess. DJ, play that shit. That ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Even after I do my shitty ass performance, and I know that y'all like, y'all follow me on all platforms. Don't forget. That ain't it. Because my brother and my sisters, y'all do know they drunk as hell, right? They drunk as hell. So while your performance is lit in the morning, this is how the conversation goes. Man, somebody was performing up that jump last night. He was dope, but I can't remember his name. And like I said, that promoter, he ain't gonna do you the service, y'all, of promoting and tagging your name and all that good shit unless he real life fucks with your performance. And you real life came in was about your business, fucked with him, rock with them, show all the people in their love. Because if they see you in that jump coming there, you kill it, but you in that jump like a golf artist, all chilling to yourself, don't talk to nobody until it's your time to go. Then you roll out. They know that. The promoters see you when you walk out the door and when you walk in. Every time. Every time. So they're not going to promote you if you rap the road. But you did your thing. You stayed there all night. You met them. They're going to tag you in it. Then their guests and all their patrons may remember you if they get back on the page in 24 hours.
Right.
But you're not going on their wall unless you was lit. And that's the big name, right? Whoever the big guy was in there. You had to impress them. So that's how this goes. But at the end of the day, let's just be real. What's really happening around here, y'all? Everything is a dog-eat-dog world. So if you understand where you are in the totem pole, you can't get mad when it happens. If I give you what's going to happen before it happens, then it will lighten you and make everything else seem like, You see what I'm saying? I mean, if I tell you, yes, you're going to get on stage, you're going to kill it. Afterwards, they're going to text you and tell you that you did a great job and ask you, do you want to come back out next week? When you see it happen, right, you don't feel bad anymore. You don't get to call me and say they keep asking me to come out, but yet I don't never win. Nah, you understand. You paid, you played, and as long as you keep coming back and paying and playing, you're the man. So I tell artists all the time, if a promoter tells you that you killed his set and he asks you to come back again and under the same pretense, not like, now I get it if he says pay, but if he doesn't say, look, you come out, it's still $20, it's still $40, it's still $50, but I want you to do one more song. You know what I'm saying? I want you to do a 6-minute set instead. I want you to do this. Or I need you to go on at 11. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make sure I put you on at 11. Giving you other type of stipulations, he did not fuck with you. And I'm going to tell y'all straight up, y'all got to be man enough. Y'all got to start manning up, pulling your big man pants up and saying, I'm not, no disrespect, but thanks for fucking with me, but I can't do it next week. I got a show. I got something next week. And finding you something next week. Because at the end of the day, if he told you he messed with your show, you now need to get all of the promoters on that network to say they mess with your show. So you was at Mikey D's show last Monday, you need to be at Robbie D's show on this Monday. Because when Mikey D and Robbie D talking, and they got to post the footage, they're like, oh my goodness, Sixxcess killed my show last week. Damn, Sixxcess killed my show this week. Oh man, this dude's Sixxcess is crazy. At the end of the day, now you got two people talking about you amongst each other that's going to keep hitting you up for shows. And I'm sorry, I'm booked and busy. I'll hit y'all on when I come back the third time because I gotta go to Johnny D's spot now on this Monday. I gotta get him to now be telling everybody that I'm lit as well. I don't have time. Y'all see artists that tour. Y'all don't see them sitting that damn. No disrespect to Red Lounge. Y'all don't see them sitting at Red Lounge every day. Like I'm on tour. Catch me this Monday at Red Lounge. Catch me next Monday at Red Lounge. Catch me Monday after that at Red Lounge. The tour is about to be lit. I mean, like honestly, really for real, artists, y'all see when they do tours, it's a month tour. They hit a city, they're not back in that city till next month or two.
Yeah.
I mean, like, hello. If people know that they can get you, what makes them want to pay you? I mean, listen, this game is the streets,
Perfect
y'all.
sense.
But if they know that they can get you, what makes them pay you? I tell my artist all the time, he says, man, somebody hit me up and they want me to do this show. I say, ho, don't do it. Well, why not? I said, well, why they hitting you up? Well, they you know, they mess with, they rock with me. Well, what did they offer you? Did they offer you a section? Did they offer you a bottle? Did they offer you like what was the offer that made you feel like they rocking with you? Because if they're gonna offer you a bottle, tell them that the bottles cost 100 or 185 at the door, you'll kindly take the 185. If the sessions are 500 that they're selling on it online, well, I'll kindly take the 500. You can keep the section. I'll be there for the 500. I mean, y'all got to start asking yourselves like, if these are the things that they're setting, then they rock with you. And if these things have value to them, then they're telling you where your value is. And if their value is set at that, show me the money. Don't tell me you want to get paid, but then you transfer it over for a bottle of Moet or Hennessy. I mean, hello, you knew the bottle of Hennessy was $3.85 when you bought it last week. So if they about to bring you a bottle of Hennessy, hello, kindly give me the $3.85. Please. Respectfully. I mean, hello. It's you wanted to get paid, but yet you want to handle it like an indie artist. You don't want to handle it like a business person, like an industry. So when I said the line that everybody keeps acting like it's this small, is really this thick.
Right.
You know, and they really like not even near the surface. And when y'all hear all these indie artists saying, I'm indie, I'm indie, I'm indie, uh, uh, yeah, y'all indie in the sense of you can move when you wanna, go where you wanna, sing when you wanna, but you ain't indie in the sense of no label controls you. No label pretty much is financing you. No label is making sure that your marketing is right. You know, because I mean, how much do y'all think? Do y'all think that in New York they just put you on the billboard because they think you lit? Y'all think that if y'all think that Times Square billboard says, wait a minute, Kanye's dropping something, let's throw him on it. Y'all think that's how it works? You're sadly mistaken. They didn't see the new Spider-Man movie coming out and say, wait, Spider-Man dropping? Let me put it on the billboard real quick. No. Marvel called them up and said, hey, we need the billboard for the month. We need it. Even if it's booked, they'll be like, build another one. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why when y'all see these movies that be like, they be promoting you 2 years, 3 years in advance, that whole promotion blocks are bought up. They call Times Square, they say, hey, March 2022, we need the whole block, the whole street. How much is it going to be? Fine, do it. Set it up for 2 years. And let's just be real, y'all. Y'all know half the time these budgets don't even be in place. They just set the date and start working the budget. I mean, you artists can real live. I'm gonna drop a gem on here. You can set a concert for 3 months later. You can set a concert for 3 months later and spend the next 3 months building the concert, getting everything ready, seeing how much you make, selling tickets, hitting the road, hitting the streets, hitting all your friendly neighborhoods, selling your tickets and doing your thing, you know? And then you can get to your concert day and say, damn, we done made whatever off this show. We're about to have a good time.
Well, y'all heard it. Y'all need to learn how to sell yourselves because you could definitely get paid for your performances. And that's why I wanted us to talk about that today because I feel like a lot of artists don't know how to prove or show their value to the people that could be paying you. And the thing that caught my attention was these promoters. Like when I start seeing promoters paying artists, a light goes off in my head. Like, oh my gosh, they're
A lot of
paying
people
artists,
scared to look at themselves like product.
and y'all want to get paid, you know. And so they're out there. They're promoters, local promoters in your city. It might not just be the DMV because y'all know I travel. I mean, I seen it just now this weekend in Martinsburg. I've seen it. They do it in Atlanta. They do it in Dallas. Um, Wherever promoters are looking for talent that's going to bring a crowd, that's going to
Mm-hmm.
rock the club. That's the next hottest thing. Because just
Mm-hmm.
imagine if they have you at their show and you blow up. I mean, that's just more promo for them, huh? So
Exactly.
you guys just be sure, to
Do
get
your
your
research.
do your research. I would say, I mean, EPK is important. If you can't focus on that, at least have some type of file or something with your shows, links to your music,
Yeah.
a bio. Let people know who you are, where you're from, and why you're doing this. That was another thing. And the last thing I want to add is when you're performing, command the crowd. Do not
Mm.
get up there and with your head down, rapping to the ground or rapping. You can rap to your homeboys, but make sure that from your homeboy, you're turning then to the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can actually touch people. I was telling the artist this weekend, I was like, when you talk to the crowd, they can actually feel you.
Yeah.
When you're just rapping in the air and looking all around, we don't know who you talking to, but if you really like commanding our attention, that's gonna get you places. Because right now, I'm looking for two artists that I've seen perform. Like I'm looking for the promoter right now so that I can hit up the promoter to see when what type of talent does he book for his show and who were the artists that performed because
Right.
two of them caught my damn attention. So just imagine me as just a bystander, how I move, and then also how your fans might move or potential fans, because I'm a potential fan of this artist that I'm fucking looking for. So
Yeah.
imagine
But like, what's
your
crazy is why, like, if you don't even know them. You can't go to the promoters page and find out who it was.
no.
That's how it is in this industry. And the sad thing is,
Oh, no, no, no. I found a promoter. Actually, the people that invited me out, I was going to reach out to them and just tell them to give me his or her Instagram,
yeah,
but I didn't even. We're not done with the show yet, so I just thought about it today. I'm like, you know what? I'm about to find this promoter. I'm about to go ahead and DM him. Martinsburg is not far. It's nothing for me to go introduce myself, but I
yeah, VA
definitely
got
want
a
to know.
vibe.
I
Yeah,
want to know what opportunities there are for other artists to get paid for shows. So
right.
I'm working for y'all, but y'all gotta work for yourselves as well.
Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, look, man, like all everybody gotta understand two things. We are products. I mean, it's no different than being on that assembly line every day. You know what I'm saying? We are products. And you got to look the part, play the part, and be ready and always on point when your time comes. The sad reality that I always want to stress to every single artist that's out here that's like definitely like winging it. The sad thing I want to stress is it's gonna take time if you are winging it, you know. But the craziest part about it is if you keep on doing everything right and you keep on giving everybody your genuineness, then guess what? The reality of it is the sky be the limit,
Yep.
you know. And if you just it's just those small things like EPK, you know, small things like having your social media right, and like if you can't be popping on all social medias, focus on one social media, you know. If you can't hit shows and you can't give everything that you're supposed to be, then you already know that you gotta take care of everything you gotta do, you know. And I'm trying to tell everybody one thing for certain and two things for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to me in this whole where I stand in this joint, I'm like, I don't know what my position is. I don't know if I'm supposed to be the light at the end of the tunnel, if I'm supposed to be Harriet Tubman taking everybody to the railroad. But at the end of the day, I know one thing for certain: they hate me. You know what I'm saying? They hate me because they know that I am not supposed to be telling y'all any of this stuff. If y'all don't think I get calls, I still tell y'all I get calls every day. You giving too much gems. You giving too much gems. Well, I want all y'all to win. I don't want y'all to not get deals. I don't want y'all to get deals. All I'm telling y'all is this. Understand what you're doing and see the ending, right? Because it's nothing different than a person that has already done everything. You know what I'm saying? That has already seen it, already done it, and I'm just telling you how it's going to end. It's like one thing they say: if you keep doing the same thing and you expect a different outcome, then you tripping, right?
Definitely.
So I could tell everybody that if you doing the same thing as everybody that's not doing right, then guess what? I'm sorry. Don't ask yourself why you're not doing right. If you're doing everything like everybody doing it right, right, and winning, well, I'm gonna ask you this: if you're not winning and you're not, then you got to ask yourself, what are you not doing in that realm, right? Because there's no way. A friend of mine told me, and I love this guy to the end of my days. We was on tour together, and he said I got paid, you know, and I said, "Dang, how'd you get paid?" And you know that brother, shout out J Money, he didn't hesitate not 1 second to tell me how he got paid. And I understood. I'm like, okay, yeah, we're winning on the realm of being seen, right? So I'm like, as far as clout, as far as people knowing who I am, as far as hosting and getting into places, yeah, hey, you already know I'm lit, right? I'm like, okay, but yeah, I'm thinking, okay, now I gotta be doing everything right. But now he getting paid, so now you gotta ask yourself, wait a minute, what are you not doing? If you moving with him, you looking right with him, y'all in the same on the same stages together. When now, what are you not doing? And when you start doing that, then y'all start getting paid together, and then you start to realize, okay, now we on point. You know what I'm saying? So let's just be real. It's like riding a bike. You know, you have to pedal.
You can't just sit there and expect the bike to move.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fact. So y'all already know what time it is, man. We went over our time.
Definitely. And if y'all haven't already done so, please, y'all loving this content, go ahead and like and
Yeah,
subscribe,
hit
y'all.
that like and subscribe button at the bottom.
Hit
And
that notification bell too, so y'all always know what's going on with the boys
yeah,
and
man. Like,
girls.
and y'all make sure y'all we try to get Jezabel to change her name back to Jezebel the Truth.
It
Um,
is still Jezebel the truth.
it is Jezebel the Truth when you type it in, y'all. But y'all already know. And if y'all like
Oh,
talking,
you talking about on Instagram?
mhm.
Oh, living while existing has a meaning.
Yeah, I like it. It's powerful. It's
I'm living proof of it because we're all gonna go. You know what I'm saying? So while you're living here, I mean, while you're on this earth, you have to live and not just exist. Meaning, don't just work and die. Like,
mm-hmm.
do what you want to do. You know,
Yep,
your fullest potential. If you're an artist, you know, put your music out there. Like, go to the top. Don't stop just because one is it's not working. Try a
yeah.
different way.
Don't play around. Like y'all gotta step up. And like I said, man, like I need y'all to real live hit the notifications button. Also hit the share button on y'all
Yes,
stories and like share the content. Because you know, me and Jezebel, we really just like be putting together these shows, trying to make sure that y'all really get the what y'all really need out of them. So rewatch them and catch the jewels. Some of y'all miss or whatever the case may be. Of course, y'all already know, like we do at this time, we're about to put these roaches in the ashtray. We done already flicked off the ashes, and we getting ready to roll up another one. Cause I am. And peace out.
bye, y'all. Have a good week.